Damn, this junk mad close. There you go. Let me share it to the group. Yes, man, it's hot today. We in Springfield, Mass. Just finished work. Well, I've been finished work, you know. Just had to have a war with the toilet, and I'm starting to win. My intestines are almost back. This has been a long, not on and off, yeah, like a 5-year battle. I've been dealing with this, but finally feel like I almost got a complete hold over it, man. And honestly, what it comes down to is just hydration, man. Hydration and fiber, but just hydration. If you don't drink enough water, what your body does in order to keep your heart hydrated, major bodily organs and things of that nature is, I think from what I'm learning, one of the first places that it pulls a lot of water from is the colon. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't drinking enough water, and the colon accumulates a lot of water, that's where your body starts to pull water from, and then it just makes like freaking a congested highway. It just makes things backed up, move a lot more slowly. You know, traffic jams, metaphorically speaking. Because I don't do toilet humor, so I'm not trying to be humorous. And you see, I got the fresh baldy too, and the beard is shaved, and I don't want to be too gross. So when I speak about things like this, I like to use my creative, artistic mind in describing what's going on to get you an idea without necessarily grossing you out. And you see the t-shirt, can you see the t-shirt? It is what it is. I got some of these on Bonfire. I gotta start putting some links if you guys are interested in that merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Anybody interested, leave a comment and I'll put it in the description where you can pick it up if you're interested. And of course, somebody would try to call me as I'm doing my podcast. I will send them. Please text me. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Goodbye. You're still trying to call me. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Yeah, and for those that's popping in, man, you know, give your boy a thumbs up. We are on episode 83. And I know I entitled it Dirty Thursdays because I didn't really have much of a topic that I was going to expound on. So when that's the case, I just work on some jokes. You know what I mean? I just run some material. And I will do that. But in the course of me thinking I didn't have anything to talk about, I didn't really plan on anything because yesterday was very, very political. Last night, you know, New York Knicks is playing the Spurs. And Spurs in MSG, Madison Square Garden, the Spurs were up by as much as 29 points. I think the Knicks only scored like 30 points in the first half. The Spurs damn near scored 70, something close to that. And it's like the second half, it was a total flip. Like the Spurs only scored 30. And the Knicks scored like 81, something crazy. That's what made them win by 1 point. And it's funny because I wasn't really watching. I didn't have the game on TV, but I'm just, you know, I'm watching like the sports app so you can see like the gameplay. I'm listening to. I don't think I was listening to any play-by-play yesterday, but I could watch the live updates on the sports apps, and pretty much get an idea of what was going on. And by the third quarter, I noticed though, like the Knicks kind of chipping at the lead. Like before I went to sleep, I was just so tired because I came down with like a little cold, but I'm starting to get over it. But I noticed like it was within like 15 to 17 points, and I'm like, yo, if the Knicks do good, I mean, you know, keep up this momentum, they probably gonna take this. And I woke up like 2:30 in the morning to look at it. 1 second. My bad. I woke up My bad. I woke up like 2:30 in the morning. I was next to my girl. She was bundled up asleep. And I went to look at my phone. I had my glasses on. It was looking mad blurry. So I'm looking at the score, and there's like 10 something, 10 something. I could kind of make out the 106 to 107, but I couldn't tell. So I put my glasses on. I was like, yo, the Knicks won. And when I look, because you can look at the gameplay, it shows you every shot. And I forget his name. Gameplay, it shows you every shot. And I forget his name. Let me get this guy respect and get his right name. One second. All right, his name is OG Anunoby. And you know why that's easy to remember? Because when I hear OG Anunoby, I think of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It sounds exactly the same, has the same amount of syllables. I would not be surprised if OG Anunoby's father or mother, somebody in his family was a fan of Star Wars. And it was like, what would be dope? Our last name is Anunoby, which sounds like Wan Kenobi. So, instead of OB, we're going to name him OG. Well, anyway, the Knicks was down 1 point. It was about 13 seconds left. They bring the ball up. They swing it around, set the pick. They give it out Jalen Brunson. He had a good look on the three. It hits the front of the rim. And then OG Anunoby, through all the trees, through Wemby, through everybody, jumps up between everybody. Just had the perfect anticipation. Tips that ball in, and the Knicks won. After being down 29 points. That was the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history. And it was just right on time, because like the state, I know this is a Dirty Thursdays, but I may not do no jokes. I might even just change the whole thumbnail and everything, because it's like, I want to talk about this. This is more important right now. I can work on my dirty jokes whenever, but we gotta build on what's going on. So it was just a good thing, man. In light of the Rick Child verdict, where Rick Child shot a black kid in the back that he thought was stealing from him, that they didn't steal anything. If you want to know the details of the case, look it up. I'm not going to relitigate it. I'm not going to explain it. He said, where am I going every day? Every day I'm going home from work. I work in Springfield, Massachusetts. I live in Hartford, Connecticut. Once I'm done work in Springfield, I drive to Hartford. And my logic with this whole podcast that I'm doing is like, every day I'm always listening to podcasts, consuming. But I'm a creator myself, and I was like, I used to always think, I don't got no time to create because I'm always working, blah, blah, blah. I'm always commuting. And I was like, what am I talking about? I got this camera, this phone right here. Galaxy S24 is a little old now. Got to upgrade. It's all good. And I'm always listening to podcasts. Why not, on my commute home, just dedicate at least 30 minutes to just spit that ism? You feel me? Give my perspective, build this content. Y'all be showing up every day. So clearly I'm entertaining to some of you individuals if you choose to be here around this time, 40-30, between 4:30 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever it is, whatever time it is, in whichever part of the world that you are. You could be anywhere and every day, Monday through Friday. You choose to be right here. And I much appreciate every single last one of y'all for doing that. At any rate, in light of all the depression that was going on just in the black community in general, in light of the verdict with the Rick Child shooting the kid in the back and, getting off. And then, and I already talked about it, so I'm not going to relitigate anything. And in light of Carmelo Anthony with a K, not the ball player from the Knicks and the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns and whoever, the Houston Rockets, all them teams he played for. In light of Carmelo Anthony getting the guilty verdict. See, Carmelo Anthony got sentenced to 35 years for murdering Austin Metcalf yesterday. What am I doing? I'm on my way home. Once I get to the crib, I haven't really planned it out yet. Probably gonna do some more social media stuff. I'm probably gonna schedule some videos for TikTok or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping up in the algorithm. May even look through some jokes. Maybe look. I got a couple of new jokes, and I'll probably hit y'all with a couple of jokes once I'm done. But Y'all need to stop interrupting me so I can finish like what I'm trying to tell y'all. Dang. All right, man. Y'all keep throwing me off my square. So in light of the Carmelo Anthony got 35 years yesterday. And it's ironic because Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, was a major historical player for the New York Knicks. Very, very well loved. Didn't win nothing. But, you know, when you think Carmelo Anthony, you think the Knicks. You think Denver, but you really think the Knicks. And Carmelo Anthony, the young child, the youth, got sentenced to 35 years. So that just brought like a real, real dim light on a lot of black folks. Whether you believe, you know what I'm saying, we know he did it, but a lot of people are just up in arms as far as the sentencing. They some say it was self-defense, some say he was triggered because it was touched, whatever. I talked about this yesterday. We're not going to go through that. All I'm just saying is the overall sentiment of just the black community was very, very down. So to have this huge historical win for the New York Knicks, instead of the news cycle being dominated by this case and the results of the case, most people talking about OG Anunoby hit that last second tip up. And no name, you said there was no players no more. I don't know what you mean by that. Give me 1 second. So basically, my bad, because the news cycle was just so dominated by these cases. It was just, yes, sports is a distraction. Yes, we got real things going on, but a lot of times we cannot control the real things that are going on. So every now and again, we need something on the news cycle to just take our minds off, just even if it's for a day, a couple of moments, and make us just feel a little bit good about something. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's tragic that Austin Metcalf lost his life. It's tragic that Carmelo with a K, Anthony, essentially threw away his life. That's a tragic thing. But to see these Knicks that have been trying to win an NBA Finals for 53 years. The last time they won one was in 53 years. The last time they've been to an NBA Finals was in 1999, 27 years ago. They were also in one in 1994. But the most recent NBA Finals besides this one has been for 27 years, and they didn't win one for 56 years. You know what I'm saying? So for them to be on the brink and the cusp and to have New York just really, really feel good about something, because a lot of times when people think America, the first place they think is New York. You know, Washington, D.C. is the capital. But most places, most countries in the world, like I know a lot of people in Puerto Rico, even down south, you know what I mean? Like I didn't meet my dad until I was 31, but when I finally met him, they just, you know, it was in the 70s and the early 80s. It was just easy to lose contact with people. You know what I mean? Because there was no internet. There was no way of really tracking people as easily as we can do now. There was no social media. So when I finally came across him again and we was talking, he would always tell me that, he would always tell his people, oh, I think I got a son up in New York. I got a son in New York. We was living in New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And then like a lot of people from Puerto Rico, when they think America, they just think New York. A lot of places around the world, when they think of America, they think of New York. Period. They see us all as New Yorkers, even more than Californians. You know what I'm saying? Or they think New York and Cali. That's it. But mainly New York. So when you see something good going on for New York, you know, as far as being, you know, whether, you know, they're about to win a NFL championship, MLB championship, a Stanley Cup, or an NBA championship, and like the NBA Finals, that's what's going on right now in New York. So it's like New York is in the front and center of what's going on. So if New York feels good, it looks like America feels good. You feel me? Does that register? Does that make sense? Oh, so we want to see these guys win, man. We want to see them win. Victor Wembanyama, if he can keep his body intact, this dude is pretty much going to be the face of the league for the next 20 years. He has a young team. They got plenty of chances and opportunities to win the NBA championship. But to me, like, the Knicks story is just so much better right now. And in the 90s, I was an Orlando Magic fan because I was a huge Penny Hardaway fan. Even before that, I was a Shaq fan at first. Once I started watching Penny, I fell in love. That was my guy. Then when Penny went to the Phoenix Suns, I became a Phoenix Suns fan. Then when the Penny went to the Knicks, I became a Knicks fan. But even before that, even though uh, I was a Magic fan, the Knicks games would be on TV all the time. So I was always in New England, in Hartford. It was three teams I was always on television: the New York Knicks, the Boston Celtics. I used to always keep my eye on those two teams. And on the Yes Network at the time, they were in New Jersey, the New Jersey Nets. But I always, the Celtics, I used to keep up with them a little something. I used to like Antoine Walker, Paul Pierce. It was another dude too that came out before Paul Pierce. I forget his name. His name was on the tip of my tongue. And he was a good spot up shooter. He had a game kind of like Rip Hamilton. He was more of he was a two-guard spot up shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like good defender. I just can't think of his name off the top of my head. But I would keep up with the Celtics. I remember Dino Raja. You know what I'm saying? Like the Knicks, they had Charles Oakley. I'm talking about the 94-95 Knicks. Patrick Ewing at the center. Charles Oakley, Charles Smith, Anthony Mason, John Stewart. The starting five, if I can recall correctly, in the mid-90s, Patrick Ewing was the center. Charles Oakley was the power forward. Anthony Mason was the small forward. Couldn't shoot for shit, but could handle the rock and bring it up. He was kind of like a point forward. John Starks, hard-nosed defender, streak shooter, heart of a lane, just undersized. And Derek Harper, just, point guard, throwback. And it was I think Mark Jackson used to play for the Knicks in the early 90s, but eventually he wound up playing for the Indiana Pacers. I don't remember the Knicks when Mark Jackson was there. Not that I remember Mark Jackson when he was with the Indiana Pacers, with Reggie Miller and Rick Smits and the Davis twins, Dale Davis and Antonio Davis. You know what I'm saying? That was a good squad I used to keep up with too. I used to like there was a lot of good teams like that in the 90s because they always had certain players that you could identify the players with the team. You don't really have that as much nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Players they chasing the bag. So they could be with your team this year. There's so many Hall of Famers that are journeymen nowadays that wasn't like that. Like players getting traded in the prime of their career nowadays. You didn't really see that. Reggie Miller only played for the Knicks. I mean, not the Knicks, but the Pacers. Isaiah Thomas only played for the Pistons. Kobe Bryant only played for the Lakers. Patrick Ewing, for most of his year, played for the Knicks, but then, towards the tail end of his career, late 90s, early 2000s, he went to Seattle, and then he went to the Magic. Hakeem Olajuwon mostly played for the Houston Rockets, but at the end of his career, he went to Toronto. Michael Jordan played for the Bulls his whole career, but then when he made his third comeback, or his second comeback, he played for the Wizards. And that was more, he was an older, you know what I'm saying? So it was more like promotion. 1 second. But back then players was known for being for certain teams. Steve Smith was known for being on the Atlanta Hawks. I think originally, did Steve Smith used to play for I think he played for the Miami Heat. I think him and Glenn Rice used to be on the same team, if I'm not mistaken, but he came into his own for the Hawks. Glenn Rice was known for playing for Charlotte. Had the jumper, was crazy. Him and Steve Smith used to go at it. Glenn Rice used to bust Kobe ass. Glenn Rice used to bust Michael Jordan. Glenn Rice was a problem, yo. Glenn Robinson was known for playing for another beast. You know what I'm saying? Derek Coleman used to play. He was a power forward for the 76ers. It was a beast. He was just lazy. Trust me, I used to watch basketball back in the days, man. Mitch Richmond was known. He used to play for the Sacramento Kings. They used to call him the Jordan of the West. Clyde Drexler for the Portland Trailblazers. But he was like pretty much in the tail end of his career to the mid to late 90s. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about my era when I started really growing up. Like Charles Barkley was slightly before my time. He played for the Houston Rockets towards the end, but at that point, like when he was dominating with the Phoenix Suns, I wasn't really watching basketball like in '93 when they made it to the NBA Finals. Did they? No, they didn't make it. They almost made it. They got bumped. No, they did. The Phoenix Suns played against the Bulls. They did. Bulls beat them in 6. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I remember those teams back in the days, man. Alonzo Mourning with the Miami Heat. PJ Brown. You know what I mean? Oh man, what's his name? Oh my God, it was this 2 guard for the Miami Heat, and Penny Hardaway used to bust his ass like that. The famous move where Penny do the washing machine, like he like spin and go back around and do the shot. I can't think of his name. It began with a V though. I cannot remember his name, man. For the Miami Heat. But he had a smooth little game. Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones used to play for he played for the Lakers and then he played for the Heat, but I don't know which team he played for first. But I know he played for both of them. I think he played for the Heat first and then she went to the Lakers. Or it could be the other way around. I can't remember. You know what I mean? It was a dope time back then. So you don't have that as much identity with the teams nowadays, but the Knicks, they just looking good. To me, the Knicks represent America. The whole world, when they think of America, they think of New York. Straight up. New York City, not the state, just the city. New York City, to me, is the unofficial capital of the United States. That's just my opinion, you know? And, you know, we need those positive vibes from the city that represents. You know, I bash New York. I hate going down there. I hate the traffic. I think things are too expensive, you know. But it's the comedy mecca of the world, and I'm going to have to go there more frequently if I want to advance in this game. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm talented. I do my thing, but I'm in Connecticut. It's not really known for that. They got stuff here in pockets. I cut my teeth up here. I learned how to be a comic. I'm doing this going on 13 years. I get booked as a headliner on a regular basis now, but no, I gotta get in their face in the city. And I got just as much energy. I got just as much material. I think I'm just as talented as damn near anybody out there. I put my life on that. You know what I mean? I'm very, very passionate. I enjoy this comic. I'm a nerd with it, you know? And I practice in my own ways. You know what I'm saying? This is how I practice. By talking to you guys every single day. On this camera, man. This is how, like, I'm not going to let the fact that I don't have the opportunity to hit these stages as much to be an excuse for me not to develop my craft. All you're doing is talking with the idea that people are paying attention to you. I love an audience that doesn't heckle. I know people, well, nobody's watching right now, but you know what I'm saying? You get it. So I'm just real happy. I'm just really very, 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 very happy what happened with the Knicks the other night. And they stretching this NBA Finals because it's Thursday. There's no game tonight, obviously, because it was one game last night. And there's no game Friday. They're going to make us wait 3 days. Wednesday, Thursday, they made us wait 3 games for the next game in San Antonio. They is milking this for all it is worth. But hey, you got to dig it. You know what I mean? And if the Knicks is smart, yo, none of this get down by 30-something points, yo. They better play with their motherfucking hearts out and get the job done in the Alamo Dome, yo. Finish this off. Because you don't want to go in a situation like you got 2 chances to win this, you know, to finish out the series. The Spurs got to win 3 more games. You only got to win 1. And you got 2 chances to win 1 game. It's 3-1 right now. Knicks got 2 chances to win 1 game. Spurs got 3 chances. Spurs got only 1 chance to lose. They got to win 3 games and not lose. The Spurs got to go 3-0. Knicks only got to go 1-0. Knicks can go 1-1 though. The Spurs have to go 3-0. Knicks have to go a minimum of 1-1. So the you know, Now, this is the thing, like the Spurs have to, well, obviously the Spurs got to win out, period. That's just goes without saying. But it'd be amazing, like if the Knicks steal this one, because that means that the Knicks, in order to win the NBA Finals, they had to win 3 road games. That's pretty freaking amazing, man. Because they won the first 2 in San Antonio, they dropped the 3rd game in Madison Square Garden in New York, and then they won. You know what I'm saying? They split the games at home. So right now, the Spurs record, not the Spurs, but the Knicks' record, it's a reflection of winning 3 road games. Yo. That's not easy, man. That's not easy at all. It's impressive, man. I don't even know any of these dudes' games. I need to watch some highlights. Like, what makes Jalen Brunson so good? Is he a good shooter? You know, he make good decisions? Because he don't seem like that athletic. He kind of chubby too. That's why they be calling him Big Booty Brunson. I think that's freaking hilarious. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, like, you know, Karl Anthony Towns. You know, a lot of these big men, like, they shoot threes and shit like that. You know, they run the floor. You know, it's just a totally different game nowadays than it was back in the days. You know, it's what it is. You know what I'm saying? This dude about to, thank God he ain't gonna fall. But nah, it's very interesting. This is not gonna be a dirty Thursday. I'm under the weather. I'm extremely congested. That's why I keep pausing it, because I don't want y'all to hear y'all. I don't want y'all to hear me blowing my nose on the phone. That's not kosher. I'm about to get in front of this bus. I know that much. So I ain't gonna be behind the bus. Yeah, I ain't gonna be behind the bus on the HOV lane. Hell no. I gotta get in front of you. You're going too slow, my boy. But yeah, man, like only one person watching now. Listen, all I did was just workshop basketball. I just talked basketball. But you know, we're just gonna bring some philosophy in it. A lot of people were saying that Trump was the reason, like Trump sucked the energy out of the room. I already spoke about it. I already did a whole podcast about it. It was just happy to see that a lot of the fans didn't let the sting of that loss, because it was still a close loss. This series could be over. It could have been a 4-0 sweep, yo. They didn't allow that loss to carry over into this game. It seemed like it was starting to carry over. I mean, they was down about 30 points. But persevered. OG Anunoby, a.k.a. Obi-Wan Kenobi, tipped in that shot from, as the fake Skip Bayless says, Big Booty Brunson. Tipped it in, won the game. New York is happy. So by proxy, America is happy. And as I tell all my young and up-and-coming comedians, there is no such thing as writer's block. If the comedy gods is not giving you anything new described on that page, it is their way of telling you to work on the things that they have already given you. Stay away from the nonsense. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from the gossip. Stay away from the rumors. Stay away from the foolishness. Focus on the funny and lead love. Life is not something that happens in spite of you. Life is an experience for you to behold. So get to beholding. With that being said, y'all have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm about to change the thumbnail on this particular podcast because the spirit told me I wanted to talk about something else. I work on my dirty jokes on my own. I might even cancel Dirty Thursdays in general because a wide variety range of people watch me, and I just kind of want a certain vibe and certain brand. If I'm gonna have a dirty channel, maybe I'll just have a totally separate channel specifically for that. I want this channel to be a little more clean. So maybe today is the end of Dirty Thursdays. I'll holler at y'all. Y'all have yourselves a good Thursday night, day, wherever you're at. Peace.